welcome back to my channel. Thank you to my subscribers, and thank you and welcome to the newcomers. I see that there's quite a bit of new subscribers that embarked on my journey. So I want to thank you personally for being part of my journey and for helping to grow the channel, of course. Thank you so much to every single one of you. And thank you for the beautiful comments here and on the groups. Thank you so much for your support and for giving those thumbs up. It does help to circulate the video. I thank you for that. And hopefully for the new ones that keep arriving, you will like what you see and you become also part of the family. Thank you so much, everybody. If you are subscribed, don't forget to hit that bell notification for new uploads. And we are going to start with this new pattern that I'm working on. And I'm working with a 4-ply, which is too large, too big, I find. Now, unless you have like a 12-seater table, then this is perfect as a centerpiece because it is large enough to fit that wide, long 12-seater table. So this, I will take it down afterwards because it's too big. I find for myself, put it that way, because my table is a 6-seater and it's too wide, I find. This is perfect for anything that you want to create, putting flowers around it, like I'll most probably will be doing, because I'm just, a 3D table runner creator, and I love that. So I'm going to give you a demonstration with the white, which probably is going to help because this is too big for you to even see, but it's wide. Now the demonstration I'm going to give you, since I'm going to make it for myself because I really, really like this, I'm not going to do this edge here. And on the other side, it has the same edge. Okay. So I'm going to cut it down. And I have, if you want to create with the two edges like I have here, it's 85 chain stitch. Because I'm going to take these two down, or else it becomes too wide for me, I'm only going to use one, okay, on this side, and I'm going to use one on this side. So it will be 67 chain stitch, okay? So if you want to do that, then you can go ahead. If you want to keep, the best I find, because this is a 4-ply, and this 4-ply is a little bit too thick, I find it for this type of pattern. My 4-ply is exactly the same thickness because each country has their own little thickness and thinness on numbers. I mean, my number could be the same as yours, but completely different thickness and thinness of it. I have two 4-plies here, and they're not the same size. So mine is exactly like Aunt Lydia, number 3, cotton, because this is cotton thread, 100%. So my thickness of my 4-ply here in Europe is the same thickness as Aunt Lydia that you have there in the States or Canada. The best to have the both sides like this pattern is to use Aunt Lydia number 10. I think it's perfect for this type of table runner. It's a perfect size to have both sides equal the same on each end. And, it's just perfect for a 4-seater, 6-seater. Anything that is over the 6-seater, then you would need to use like Aunt Lydia number 3 and then use this huge size, I would say. Now, by using number 4, let me see if I have my measuring tape here. I'll let you know how much this size 4 is. It's quite wide, so too wide for me. But this is 49 centimeters already wide. Now imagine, actually 48. Is this fixed properly on here? Yeah, 48 centimeters wide. So it's too wide for me. And if I'm going to create only with the 2, so let me just see here. It will be 39. So that's cutting down like 10. So it will be perfect for me. So we're going to get started, people. I hope you're going to enjoy this. This is unique. This is completely different than what you most probably are used to. And of course, I was still working on here and finishing up that square. But there's no point in continuing because I'm taking this down no matter what. So I decided, because I'm going to cut short on the pattern, I decided to stop there and just create from the size I want. So if you're doing both sides, like I said, like this, 85 chain stitch. Okay, now this has, bring it up closer, using the 85 chain stitch, this has 7 double crochet and then 1 chain separation. You skip 1 and then you go to the 7. So very simple as that. The other side the same way, doesn't change anything. So you would continue to do your 7. You do 1 chain stitch separation, you'd skip 1 space and do your 7 double crochet, and now you would have both sides. Okay, so we're going to get started, everybody. Thank you so much again for being part of this whole thing with me, and please don't forget to give it those thumbs up. It does help to circulate the video. If you have any questions, also please feel free to ask. I am here to help you. Any questions, I'm here to answer you. I might not answer you right away, depending which country you in. We have different time zones, so it might take a bit before I can answer you because my time zone does not meet up with yours. Okay, so we are going to get started, and we're going to get started with 67 double crochet chain stitch to do only one edge here and 1 edge on this side. Okay, let's get started, people. Okay, so I've got my 67. I actually added 1 more just in case, because I could always take it out from the end if I'm extra. Better be extra than short. Okay, and needle number 3, if you're using it, Lydia number 3. So we're going to go back 4 space. 1, 2, 3, 4. On your 4th one, we're going to do double crochet. So now we're going to do 1 after on each space. Let me just bring this up a little bit more. We're doing double crochet per space, 7 of them, okay? And I know this video is going to be long because there's so much little details onto this design. So I'm going to try to keep it as short as I can. So 7 double crochet. Now, we are going to, we're going to do 1 chain. We're going to skip 1, 2, is it 1, 2? Hold on a second. Gotta make sure I got this, not 1 space, okay. So we're going to skip 1 space, and we're going to go into the next space. Now we're going to do little squares, 1 chain separation between all of them, 27 squares, okay, until you hit almost the end. And then getting to the end, we are going to do again the 7 double crochets. Okay, so just skip your 1 space and go to the next one, and we're going to do 27 little squares, 1 chain separation, skip 1 space, go to the next one. Always harder to get the first line going, right? Especially me with a tight stitch all the time. For people that know me already, that's been following me for a while, they know that I have a very tight stitch, and it's kind of hard to sometimes get it through. Okay, so let's do 27 squares like this all the way to almost the end. And then at the end, we are going, after you have 27, we're going to do 7, and then we're going to go up 3 chain and then turn around the next row. Okay, so we have the 27 squares, doing 1 chain stitch separation, skipping 1 in the bottom. So on your 27, now you're going to do your 7 double crochets. Okay, so like I said, this video is probably going to be a little bit long. I probably have to cut it into 2 because there's so much little details to have this effect design. but it's a gorgeous centerpiece. So sometimes you got to put a little bit work into it. So we have 5, 6, and 7. So I had said to do your 67 chain stitch. I did 60, 68, just to make sure that I wasn't going to miss any. And it worked out perfect. It left me only one behind, which is no issue. I can always take it down. Okay, so this pattern from beginning to the end will always have the 7 on this end, double crochets, and the 7 on this end. So both ends will have always, beginning to end, the 7 double crochets. Okay, so now you would turn around and you'd go up 1, 2, and 3. For some of you have your that has your stitch too loose. Do only 2 chain going up and don't do 3 because then it's going to be too baggy. Okay. And for the ones that, like myself, that's too tight, well, we're going to do a 3 chain, right? Tight is beautiful in patterns, but it's very complicated to work with. So 1 chain separation. Now on this row, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. Try to bring it this way so you can see. So we're going to have 5 squares now here. And then, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. On your 6th square, we're going to do groups of 3, 1 chain separation, and skip 1 space. Okay? So 1 chain separation. We're going to go right on top of the double crochet. So that's your first square. 1 chain separation. Close it in with double crochet on top of the next one. So this pattern's a lot of squares too. 2 squares, 1 chain separation, go on top of the next one. 3 squares, 1 chain separation on top of the next one. 4 squares, 1 chain separation on top of the next one. 5 squares. So now we have our 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. On your 6th square here, we're going to do a 3 group of double crochet, 1 chain separation, and we're going into the next one. And we're creating 2 inside of the square here. So we're doing another group. So now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 groups of double crochet, just like this. So 1 chain separation, you're going to skip a space, and you're going into the next. Okay. 1 chain separate. Sorry, you have to do the group before your 1 chain. Okay. Another thing, if you think you're going to get too confused by counting these double crochets down here, so you put 1 here, you put 1 in the middle, and you can put 1 on top of the other one. And this way, you're sure not to have any mistakes or forget any spaces if you get confused. Okay. So you can do it like that. Double crochet 1 in the middle and 1 on top. So that would equal your 3 groups just the same. And we're going to do 9 of them, okay? Okay, so now we have our 9 groups of double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on a minute. I think I confused myself. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's right. 8. 1 more here will be the 9th one. Now you're supposed to have 5 squares left at the end before you hit the 7 double crochets. So hope this all added up to me. I hope I didn't make any mistakes. which is common to happen. I suggest you always look the video up ahead before you start any project, not only with my channel, but anybody else's channel, because we are human. We could make mistakes, and I'll speak for myself. It has happened to me, and I could switch it up at the further up when I make a mistake, and I can fix it probably on the spot or whatever, whatnot. So always look ahead before you start any project. Okay, so my ninth group of 3 double crochets are here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're supposed to have 5 squares left before you do your 7 double crochets here at the end. Okay, and I chose to do this way because I don't have a thinner thread. So in order to do this pattern, I'm doing it with my size 4, and it becomes too huge. So what do? We cut down on stitches, right? I think it will look, and even though this is like still huge for me, but it's better than the other one. So we turn around, 1, 2, and 3 for the people that have tight stitch, and only 2 for people that have loose stitch chains. Okay, so you know that beginning to end, these 7 groups of double crochet will always stay the same. Nothing changes. We always have to do them. Okay, so now we are going to do 1 chain separation, squares. They pretty much stay squares so far until we get to the middle plate. Okay, so we're going to have 5, let me just see. No, this time around we're having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 6. So now we go over where the group is, and we do 1 inside of the space here. This is just not to confuse you. We're always making these little 3 groups. Now what we're doing is we're decreasing. Okay, show you here. We are decreasing because we're on our way back now with this one. Okay, so we're decreasing. We're making the triangle in groups of 3s. Okay, so we're decreasing. Okay, so now we started with 9 groups of 3 double crochet. Now we're gonna have 8. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 7. Hold on a minute. Yes, 1. Yes, because we do the other one here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're gonna have 7 because the other one is done with this special little motive there. Okay, so we did our 3, 1 chain separation. Again, you could either go on top of the other one here in the next space, 1 inside, and 1 here on top. This is just so you don't get confused. If you want to do it in the center, you can. Doesn't change anything on the pattern by going into the center. I'm just doing it this way for some of you that might get confused. Or else, if you think you're okay, then you can go right into the center here and do your 3 groups of 3. I just don't want you to get confused where to put it next, you know, so that's why I was telling you to do it that way if it's preferable to you. So I'm going to do it. So we're going to have 7 groups on this row of the double crochet. Let me see something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we are on our 7th. That means Being on the 7th, I have to flip this so you can understand. So I've turned my pattern around exactly as we are here. And you'll be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares at the beginning. Okay, because we're cutting it, we're decreasing. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have 7 double crochets. Okay. So in here, in order not to get mixed up, confused, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are doing 1 on top of the double crochet, 1 inside, and we're doing 1 on top of this one here. Okay. And next, so now we're supposed to have 5 double crochet, because we're starting to do this middle piece here. Okay, so we need to increase now all the time. We're going to decrease from here, but we're increasing from the double crochet. If that makes any sense to you? I know sometimes it looks kind of weird, but, and now we do 1 chain separation, sorry, and we do the squares again, which is all of these squares here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on a minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're in our 6th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this side, get you here on camera. So we did our first. We are here. We have 5 double crochet. We're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. So the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows will between the pattern here and here. We're gonna have 9 rows of 5 double crochets always on this side. Okay. So we have 5 in the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're gonna have 5 here also. Okay, so that's one indication for you not to get mistaken. And look, if you have to pause and go back a few times to listen to what I'm saying or showing, pause it there, look at it, analyze it, take notes. Sometimes it does help when you're creating patterns. You know, if you just pause the video, take a snap picture and look at it and count the stitches, you know, bring it up in big on the picture and count the stitches up. Sometimes it does help to create these patterns that way. Just a little hint, little indication, you know. Okay, so now we have our 5 squares here also. So don't forget, the next 9 rows will have these 9 squares. So we're going to turn around. Okay. So we turn around and 1, 2, and 3. And for people that have loose stitch, only 2 chain. We're doing always our 7 double crochets. That does not change anything. One chain. Go on top, always on top of the double crochet from the previous row to create your squares. So we know that we just turned around, so we have 5 squares to do here because the next 9 rows are of the squares. So we are on our middle pattern, creating this middle one here, and we're going to do double crochet over double crochet and adding at the end here a few more stitches because we are increasing in double crochets here, but we're decreasing on the on the groups. Okay, so we have double crochet over double crochet. We're going to do one inside here, and we're going to do one on top of this double crochet. So now we're going to have 2, 4, 6, 7. So we're always going up by twos, right? So one chain, come into the next square, do one inside and one on top of the double crochet, just so you don't get mistaken. One chain separation. We're decreasing on the little groups here of 3. We're making that little triangle. Okay, so double crochet, one inside of the triangle, the space I should say, and we're creating the 3 groups. Okay, so don't forget that we are decreasing from this one here. So that means if we're decreasing, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we're gonna have 6. So 6 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have one more. And it should be the right amount for the decrease, because now you're taking down one at a time. Put the other one here so you don't get confused. Okay. So now we're going up this way, right? We're decreasing. So you're going to have 6 groups now. Okay. Not counting from the pattern there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you know the rest is going to be squares. Okay, so we are increasing on this side of squares also. And then do your 7 double crochets at the end, go up 3 and turn around. Okay, so I did my 7. I've turned around, I went up 3 chain. I did the 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now, let me just check with it. Okay, we're cutting down. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we are 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on our 5th row. On our 5th row, we're going to have a space of 8 squares on this side. We're decreasing, so we need to make the groups inside of the next spaces inside. As you can see, we're cutting in, right? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, we're going to have so we started with 9. So we started with 9 groups. We've cut down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because your 8th one would have been here where we started the motif, okay? So 7 groups. The next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We did a 7, sorry. The next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So on row 1, 2, 3, 4. On row 4, you have your 6 groups of 3 double crochet. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares on this side, and of course the other side will be only the 5 squares because we have 9 rows of 5 squares. Okay, so now we've decreased. Okay, so 1 chain separation. We're going to do our group. One double crochet in the center and one on top of the double crochet, and again 1 chain separation, 1 in the center and 1 on top of the double crochet, 1 chain separate. Now don't forget, we are increasing on the middle piece, right? So we'd be doing 1 on top of the double crochet, 1 in the center, and we can proceed to do on top of the double crochets from the previous row. So 1 per space. Now I'm only going to record what is different on the stitch, or adding or decreasing, or as far as the 5 groups or the 7 on the edges. I don't need to keep recording that. You know that I mentioned from the beginning, it's beginning all the way to the end, the same amount. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're on row 5 and we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So we have 9 double crochets. And then here is the 5. We're going to do the 5 squares and the 7 double crochets together, go up 3 a chain, continue doing the 7 double crochets on the other side and the 5 double crochets, and we are going to proceed by adding, of course, on this side. Once we turn around, we're going to do the double crochets over double crochets, and we're going to add 1 in the center here and put 1 here, because we're increasing here and we're decreasing. 1 chain separation. We're going to make the squares. We're going to decrease. Okay, so I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, so I did my 7, I've turned around, I did my 7 again, my 5 squares, crochet over double crochet, added 1 because we're increasing here, okay, which is this middle piece. So now we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 double crochets, 1 chain separation. We start with the groups, and we're going to do, so now we're decreasing. Remember, we're decreasing on the groups. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to have 4. Okay, and then we're going to do the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we're going to have 9 squares, because we are decreasing on the groups here. And then we proceed after the 9 squares, we proceed with 7 double crochet. So 1 chain, and proceed doing your groups. Actually, I'm going to put it on top of the other one because I want to make sure you guys don't make mistakes. So do your groups. We are decreasing on the groups here to make that triangle. And we're going to increase now on the little squares at the end. So these rows are all about increasing, decreasing, increasing on one thing, decreasing on another. Okay? Okay, so now, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. On your 5th row, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 3. On your 6th row, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 3. And now we're going to do the squares. We're going to do the 7. We're going to turn around, go up 3, do the 7 again, do the squares, and we're going to continue to decrease, okay, on the patterns here. So I'll meet you over here on the other side. Okay, so I finished doing my row 6. I'm on to row 7. Okay, row 7. So now we are increasing, of course, on these squares. So row 7, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, let me just check something here. Okay. So now, one chain, we're going to continue decreasing on the groups of 3. 1 double crochet on the center as usual, and 1 double crochet on top of double crochet, 1 chain separation, 1 double crochet, 1 in the center, and 1 on top of the double crochet, 1 chain separation. And now we are meeting where the pattern here is, so 1 double crochet on top of double crochet, 1 on the center, and we proceed with double crochet over double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 double crochets. And then we're going to proceed with our 5 groups, 5 squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So continue yours. Do your squares, do your 7, turn around, go up 3 chain, do your 7, do your squares again. And then we're going to add 1 in the center here and 1 on top of the double crochet. Okay, so that will be 8th row, the next row. I'll meet you over here. Okay, so row 7, I've completed, did my 5, my 7, went up 3 chain, came back, did my 7, my 5 squares, my double crochet over double crochet. I have 14 double crochet, and then proceed again doing your decrease on the group of 3s here. One chain separation and 3 double crochet. Okay, now 1 chain. We're going to increase on the squares, of course, because we're decreasing on the groups. So nothing to it, you just have to pay attention when you're counting all of these stitches, the squares and the double crochets on the right places, so you don't make a mistake. That's why I'll try to keep mentioning the row that I'm in and how many squares are there. Okay, so we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're finishing row 8. Now, row 8, the squares here at the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 squares at the end. We have only 2 groups here, so we're going to do 1 more. Okay, so we're going to add 1 more group here, and then we have the double crochets that we have 14 here, and our regular 5 squares and our 7. So I'll meet you over here on the last group of the double crochet. Okay, so we are in row 9, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So row 9, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 squares. And now we're doing the last group in the center here of 3. One chain. We're coming and adding on the middle piece here. 1 double crochet over double crochet, 1 in the center, and 1 on top of the double crochet. And just proceed doing your double crochet over double crochet. Until your last double crochet, the 5 squares and your 7. I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, so we are on row 10. We did the 5 squares. We're going to do double crochets over double crochets. We're going to put 1 inside here and 1 on top, and then we're doing all squares until the end, which that means, give me a second to look at here. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 squares at the end. Okay. So I'm going to continue to do the double crochet, and I'll meet you right here on the last group just to make sure you don't get lost. Okay. Row 10. Okay, so I've done my double crochets over double crochet. I'm going to do 1 inside because we're still increasing on the center there. Okay, and now we're going to have the squares until the end. Okay, so proceed with your squares until the end. Do your 7, go up 3 chain, come do your 7 again, do your squares, and I will meet you okay, I'll meet you just at the edge here. Okay, you guys, so now you need to pay attention because it changes up again. So we are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th row. So 11th row, we did our 7 double crochets and 12 squares. Okay, we are going to decrease now on the squares. So basically, I'm going to show you here. So we're decreasing. We are right here. We're going to cut down on squares now. Okay, and we're going to continue doing this middle piece by always ending, you know, the 2 double crochet at the end, but we're going to cut from here so it can give us that angle. So we're going to cut 2 space from here, and we're going to keep adding on this side. Okay, it will make sense once I start showing you. So we have 12 squares there. So we do our 2 inside regular way and proceed with the double crochet. Now, the only thing is we are not doing the last 2 double crochets on this row. For the next, let me just see, for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. For the next 8 rows, we're gonna not do 2 here, but we continue adding the 2 on this side. Okay, so okay. So we're not doing these two last ones here. Okay, so we're gonna have a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 double crochets. Okay, on your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, on your 11th row. So your 11th row, we proceed adding, but we're going to decrease now here. So we have 19 double crochets, and now we're going to increase. Remember the groups of 5? We're going to increase now. So 1 chain, and we're going to do double crochet over the double crochet, 1 chain separation, and double crochet over double crochet, and again. And here we're going to do the 7 double crochets as usual, nothing changes. Okay, we're going to go up, chain 3, we're going to turn around, 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to proceed to continue doing our, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, because no longer will be 5, so now we're increasing on these squares. So this row is 6, the next row is 7, the next row is 8, and so on. So we're increasing here, but we're going to decrease on this side. Okay? Hope it makes sense. So I'll meet you over here just to make sure that you understand where I'm coming from. Okay, so row 12. We are increasing the squares. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 6. We are going to skip 1 and we're going into the next one and doing our double crochets. So we'll have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so row 12, we are increasing on the squares and decreasing on this side on the squares. So we have row 12. So we're going to skip 1, 2. On the third place, we're going to do our square. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 19. So pay attention now. These are all squares all the way to the end with the 7 double crochets on the end. Now the next, if you look here, so we started decreasing 1 space over right after our first pattern here. We started taking the space over. Let me see. Actually 2 up, okay. 2 up from the pattern, so 1, 2. So we started decreasing here on the second one. So when we started decreasing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, on the 11th row, we started decreasing on the pattern here, but we continue adding on here. Again, we started decreasing here and continue on and the squares. So from the first decrease on row 11, we're going to do 7 rows the same way. Just come one over by skipping 1, doing your square. So that means the next row here, you're going to skip this one and you're going to connect here, right? We skip 1, so we keep increasing on the squares, and we're going to have 7 rows like that. Decrease on the pattern here, and we continue increasing at the edge here. So we're going to have 7 rows the same way. Keep decreasing on the same side so the pattern can go this way. So we're decreasing on each row here, but we're continuing to increase on this side for the next 7 rows. So I'm going to do my 7 rows. That's counting from row 11 when we started our decrease. Okay, just confirm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So row 11, we started decreasing on the edge, and we're going to continue decreasing 7 rows the same way, because then even row 8 is decreased, but we need to add something else. So I'll meet you at the end of row after the 7th rows here of decrease, which that means I'll tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'll meet you at the end of row 18. Okay? So do yours. The rest is only squares on both sides, because now we're going this way. So decrease here, and it continues increasing here. And we are decreasing one side of the squares. We are increasing the other side of the square where we have the 5s. Okay, we're increasing now. So I'll meet you at the row, I think I told you 18th row, I believe. Okay, I don't want you to get mixed up. So row 13, we are increasing. Getting to row 13 here after the double crochets, we are decreasing. So we're not doing the last 2. That means you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You're always, for the next 7 rows, you're going to have 19 double crochet. Always increasing where the increases are, and always decreasing where we started decreasing 7 rows the same way. Okay. Row 14, we are decreasing. Like I told you, in order not to get confused where we decrease, this is where we're decreasing. So we skip 1 into another next one. And now we're going to do our 19 double crochets. So this way you know that you're not making a mistake by having the right amount of the double crochets here on the center. So obviously the side that you're decreasing, the next side you're increasing by 2 double crochets. And it's going to total your 19 double crochets. Just want to make sure that you don't get confused. It's very simple, but it can get confusing because of the different dynamic to these to the design of the pattern. Okay, so we are on our last one here. We're going to add one in the center and one on top of the double crochet. So row 14. So you know that when you're going to turn around, you need to add one here on top of the double crochet, one in the center, and do your 19. So you can't make a mistake by doing that way. And you're going to decrease here. So we're increasing, decreasing. When you're going to turn the other side, we're decreasing, increasing. So it's always like that for 7 rows. Okay, you guys, so I pretty much finished doing. So from the countdown, right, the decrease from that line here, the decrease, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I had mentioned we'll meet at 7, but I did the 8, okay? So it's 8. So that means that we decrease and continue increasing on the side that we increase, and we decrease on the side that we need to decrease. And we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18th row. Okay, so the 18th row is still the decrease and then the increase here. Now we're going to end up with, tell you in a second, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 squares on the 18th row on one side, okay, and then you'd continue doing your 7. So on the 18th row we have 5 squares on the side that we increased, right? And I'm going to tell you how many squares we have on the right side that we decreased. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 squares on this side and 5 squares on this side. So we're going to turn around and we're going to continue doing. And now coming into where we have the double crochets, I'm going to show you here. This is the 18th. Yes, this is the 18th row. We just finished doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to continue again the same system as we did on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We're going to have 9 rows of 5 squares, exactly like we did on the other side. And we're going to have 9 rows of double crochet on top of double crochet as a line. We're not increasing anymore for the next 9 rows on this side. And we're going to continue to decrease here, but we're going to add the groups, okay? So we're just gonna give it a few advances here and come back to you. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna have 9 rows of the 5 squares. Okay, so we're gonna continue with the 5 squares. So that means you're gonna have 9 rows that we're not adding anything to this side. We're just gonna do double crochet over double crochet. Okay, so I'm just going to show you after doing a few of them here. 19th row. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So don't forget, 9 rows will have the 5, and it will be double crochet over double crochet in the next 9 rows all together. Okay, and then we're just going to continue decrease on this side here. So I'll meet you right here. Okay, so you know that we need to decrease, so we don't do the last, we skip 1. Gotta give 1 chain separation, skip 1, and go into the next one. Now, we're gonna start to create the groups here again. So we are in row 19. We don't do the last, well, we skip 1 and we go on top of the double crochet. Now we're going to start the group. So we're going to do group of 3. So we're going to have 1 group here, 2 groups here, 3. So we're going to, until we need to get to what we need to get, and then we're going to start decreasing again. Okay, so just to give you an idea, row 19. So we skip 1, and now we're going to start creating the first group of 3. And continue on with your squares and go all the way to the end and do your group of 7 double crochet, and then go up 3 chain, do your 7 double crochet again on the top row, row 20. And then I'll meet you on the other side on row 20. So we can proceed to do the 2 groups of the 3 double crochet. Okay, so row 20, these 7 groups of double crochet, your squares, and then we have the group here, right? So now we're going to create, well, we need to create 2 groups now, because now we're increasing on the groups again. One chain, so now we have the 2 groups. 1 chain, we're going to skip 1, and we're decreasing on the middle pattern. So now it's going to be like this for a total of 9 rows, the same way. And coming to the end here of the double crochets, we're going to line the rows up on the same level of double crochet. Just going to show you, give me a second. That's so. As you can see, we line them up. Okay, then give it your 1 chain and do your chains, because you have to have your 5 groups of squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you know that you're right by having the 5 groups of squares here. where the 5 groups are. You know, if you don't total the 5, if you have over or under, you know you're wrong somewhere. You have to go back and check it again. Okay, so, and I gave 1 chain separation there. I have to take it down and redo it again. There's no 1 chain separation. Anyway, so you have your 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. So we are doing the 2 groups. Next one is 3 groups, and still the same thing on the same double crochet over double crochet. We're just going to keep cutting down, decrease on the pattern here, and increase on the groups until we are left only with 3 from the middle pattern here. Okay, we're left only with 3 here. Okay, and that means you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You'll have 8 groups of 3. And it still stays the same, the 5 groups here of double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, on this one here, we'll have the 9 rows of the 5 double crochets here. So continue yours. This is row 20. We're going into row 21. So that means row 21, you'd continue doing double crochet over double crochet. Continue on, decrease. We're going to increase on the groups. Now we're going to have 3, 1, 2, and 3, and we'll continue on with we're decreasing also on the squares here. Okay, and I'll meet you at the end. So that means it's row 21. Hold on a second. Row 21. So 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So we're going to go to row 27. I'll meet you at the end of row 27. So this we're going into row 21. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yep, 27. So I'll meet you at the end of row 27. So don't forget. Here is going to be the 5, the next 9 rows, the 5 double crochet, the 5 squares, because it's 1 line like we have here, and we have the 5 squares. Here we're increasing the groups and separating by 1, and we are decreasing the squares. Okay, and then do your 7 and so on. So I'll meet you at row, what did I say? 27, I think. So let me just count right from the beginning that there's no mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 27 until row 27. You're going to end up only with 3 double crochet from the middle piece. Okay, and keep increasing the groups, decreasing in the center here, and here it stays the same for the next 9 rows altogether. I'll meet you at row 27. Okay, you guys, just to recap, make sure that you're not getting a mistake anywhere. Row 21. So you did your 7. You did your 7, you did 1, 2, 3, 4, and your 5 squares. We have 13 double crochet, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. We skip 1, we go to the next one, we do the first 3 groups of double crochet, 1 chain, skip 1, 3 groups again of double crochet, because we are creating the groups, right? We have one group, two groups, three groups. So we skip one, do the next group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we have 10 squares, and do your 7 group. We're going to turn around row 22. We're going to end up with 9 squares because we are adding another group here to make the 4 groups. And we're also going to cut down here on the center. Okay, so once I finished row 22, I will come back and show you. Okay, so I pretty much finished doing row 22. Your 7. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your 9 squares. Your groups, you have 4 groups of double crochet with 1 chain separation, and by skipping 1, and then you continue on. After doing your 4 groups, you skip 1 and you continue doing your 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 double crochets, and you do your 5 squares again, and then up to the next row, which I'm already giving myself a head start. So again, you would do your 7, your 5 double crochets, which I didn't skip here. 1 chain stitch. Sometimes you forget to do that, and then the pattern looks crumpled up. So again, we are doing crochet over double crochet, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 1 chain into the next one, and proceeding with the group. Okay, 1 chain into the next space to create again the groups. 1 chain and next group of double crochet. So we have 4 groups here. Now we're going to create 5, and then you do your squares. Okay, so we're going to create 5 now, and so on. So this is how it's going to be until row 27, I believe. That's what I told you. Okay, you guys, so I finished doing mine until 3 left over on the pattern, as you see from the middle design here. This is row 26. Okay, row 26, 3 left over, and we continue with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 groups of 3. Okay, we're going to row 27 now. In row 27, we are going to change up the game a bit. So you do your 3, you do your 7, double crochets, one chain separation, you do your square. So now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to have 6 squares. So you have to do 6 squares on row 27. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you have your 6 squares. Now, we're going to do a group of double crochet, the double crochet here, the groups of 3. Okay. 1 chain, and you come into the next one. And now this row, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups of 3 of the double crochet. So this is 2, this is 3 groups of double crochet. This is still row 27, 4, 5, and 6. How many did I say? Give me a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7. So this is the 7th one, 7th group of 3 double crochet, 1 chain. Now we are going to add in here, we're going to start creating the pattern all over again. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And do 1 chain and start doing your squares again. Now we're going to have 9 rows again, double crochet over double crochet, exactly what we did here. We're creating this again. We're starting by down here again. Okay, so we're creating this pattern again, but on this, just show you here. I think it's better to show you on this one. So you see I was already starting to create it here. So we're creating this one exactly like we created this one at the beginning from here. Okay, so we're pretty much creating it here again. Now, one thing you can do is you can mark with a piece of whatever you use to mark your patterns, or put a piece of string on it and follow up the rows exactly the way they're supposed to be followed up. Okay, so I'm going to go up a few more rows here. You can go the length you want on this pattern. It's all up to you to have it long, to have it medium, or to have it short. Of course, you know, when I create these centerpieces, it's because I am going to add flowers to it, and I'm still going to create the flower and do the tutorial on it, and then I'll have another video adding on these flowers into this pattern. Okay, so again, you turn your work around, and you do your groups. of 7 double crochet as usual. Nothing changes. This will be until the end of the pattern. And don't forget, when you're closing out a pattern, you have to close it out always the same way like you started the first row. So you have to always end up on the same position as the first row in order to close it up. Okay, so now we're arriving where we are creating the pattern all over again. So we're going to have 9 rows with it lined up. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Just like that. And then 1 chain, you come into the next one. Like I said, you can do on top of the double crochet or you can go directly inside. Now I've told you guys to do it on top because I don't want you to get lost. I'm used to it, so I'm going to do inside. Now I'll tell you why I like to do it inside. I like to do it inside because it closes the stitch more firm. So it gives it more dimension on the design than doing it on top of the double crochet. It stretches out the stitch a little bit more, and I like to have that design come through. So now I'm going to show you once I finished here so you'll understand where I'm coming from, because then the rest is easiest just to repeat. Now if you need to go to the beginning of the video and restart as if you were doing the whole beginning, because that's actually what we're doing here. Now as you see, I'm going to turn this pattern because it will make it easier for you guys to understand it. We are on this side here. So being on this side here, that means we are here, right? We have the 3, so we did 1 more row there. Now we're decreasing on the groups here. We're going to keep decreasing on the groups on this side, as you see, right? So we are decreasing. Okay, so we're going to stop right there with the increase. We're decreasing, so we're just going to go right into the next one. Whoops, we're decreasing. I was right, I have to, hold on. Okay, so it's only going to be, again, squares. Because this side of the pattern, we're just decreasing on the groups of 3. And you continue on with the squares and do your group of 7 double crochet. Go up 3 chain on the other side. Continue to do your 7 groups. Do your squares again, and don't forget that we are decreasing it. Okay, so I think you're better off seeing it there. So we start to decrease. So now this row here, that means we do it here and not here. We're decreasing it. So we're going to turn around. So now we have, let me just pull it here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be your middle of the pattern. and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So you have 7 groups. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6, and then you're gonna have 5. So that means on the groups here, we're decreasing it, but we are increasing this side of these squares. Okay, so basically it's like starting all over again. Well, so we're going to have again those 5 groups, 9 rows of the 5 squares, right? Like we have here, and like we have here when we first started. We have 9 groups of 5 because they're all lined up, and even this one is all lined up also, which is 9 rows. Okay, so let's continue on doing. Okay, let me see what side am I on. I have to turn my pattern this way. I think I need to stretch my thread here. It's falling apart. That's not good. I mean, for now, because I will be taking it apart anyway. It's not like I need this big, huge pattern. Okay, so we're going to continue. Let's do our 7, and then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 squares. The next one we're going to have 7 squares. The next one 8 squares. The next one 9 squares. Okay, and so on. So I pretty much did this row. This is row 30. Remembering that we have to do the 9 rows that the double crochet all line up. We keep extending here, and we're going to decrease on the triangle here until we meet only with 1, as we have here at the beginning. So as you can see, the pattern is coming more clear now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now next row is going to be only 3. Then the row, which is row 31, row 32 will have 2, and row 33 will have 1. So I'll meet you at the end of row 31. So this is basically creating the beginning, except on this side, from the one here. Remember, we started at the beginning, except we start with half because we are starting a pattern. And we're going to finish the same way that we have here. So once you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 groups, then you know your last row is just squares all the way, the same amount as we have at the beginning, and of course your groups at the end. Now going up on the pattern, so you know that this is going to be the same thing as creating on here. So if you get confused, you could just rewind and follow the stitches as is, or just put a little piece of different color of cotton, piece of thread on each row that you're going through, and you just copy the row that you have here onto the next ones. And once you finish this one and you're creating it longer, then you put your piece of thread on whatever row here, and you copy from here onto the next one. And this is how it's going to be done. So I'm going to continue until I have only one here of the square, and so you can see, and you can take it from there to the length you want, because that's pretty much the pattern created. It's just repeat over and over the same design. Okay, so I completed my row. As you can see, we finished with one, and that's row 33. So this is what the pattern's going to look like if you continue all the way up. So that means we are creating this all over again on this side. And then this square this time, it's going to be upper between the other two that you will be creating up there. Okay? So very simple. You just have to pay attention to the stitches and where to put them or not. And like I said, you could always go back, rewind, and restart from the beginning and recreate it again from here on, exactly what we did here. So basically we are on the 3, which is these 3 here. So you know that you have to create the same rows now here. So you have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows just of squares here and squares here, and always adding 2 at the end here on each square. So all you have to do is just rewind, like I said, or put a little piece of thread on it and follow the rows from here to do exactly, to continue on from there, because now this is all repeat exactly from here up. It's a repeat on the rows. Let me just see if, yeah, so as we are here, so you'd have to continue doing all squares again, and even on this side, all squares again until we meet here, and then recreate again the other square of the groups. So this will be a repeat the same way over here. We just have to follow from this one and repeat row after row on this one until the length you would like. Well, I hope you like this tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or leave it on the comments below. Please give it those thumbs up. Please share. Tag me. And thank you so much for being part of this journey with me. And please stay tuned for the creation of the flower that I'm going to create for this. And stay tuned for this table runner. Also that I will going to continue my rows until the length I'd like, and then do a tutorial how we're going to add the flowers onto here. So thank you so much, everybody. Until next time, God bless, and please stay safe. Bye-bye, everyone.